This is the MOBC, My Own Boxing Community. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Now, I don't care who wins out of these two. I don't care if Boots could beat Norman or Norman could beat Boots. I don't care who wins out of these two. I just want to see the fight. Okay? I'm a fan of the sport of boxing, not the boxer. All right? So this isn't a page that's taking sides or who should do what, who should do this, they should do this, they should do that. All right? I'm seeing a lot of videos stating what Boots should have done, stating what Brian Norman's father, who I guess is doing the negotiations for him, what they should have done. Okay? Brian Norman's father, ultimately, we cannot say what he's doing is wrong, what he's doing is right. At the end of the day, whatever Brian Norman's father's decisions for him, to him, those are the right decisions. So be it. All right? And that's just that. Again, I don't care about Norman and Boots in terms of who wins. Okay? As a boxing fan, I just want to see the fight. That's where I stand in this situation. However, the MOBC will state their claim as to why this is a perfect example of why boxing today will never be like boxing of the past. Okay? Now, with that being said, in Brian Norman's last fight, he received $190,000 from what I read. Okay? The offer to fight Boots was 1.7. Brian Norman's team or his father or whoever asked for $500,000 more. Now, I'm noticing that people is out there saying that, well, Boots isn't a big star. Boots shouldn't be the A side. Boots hasn't fought anybody. Okay? You could say the same goes for Brian Norman. Norman isn't a big star. He hasn't fought anybody. He won the interim title, I believe, a couple of months ago, or around May or something. He won the interim title. And then when Crawford vacated his belts, they elevated Brian Norman to a full champion, okay, without having to fight for it. Now you could say he's an email champion, is he not? Can't you say he's an email champion? Yeah, he fought for the interim, but he didn't fight for the true WBO belt, right? The belt. So to me, this is a 50-50 fight. One is faster. One is stronger. On the eye test, that is. I'm just speculating. Okay? I'm not for sure if Boots is faster. I'm not for sure if Norman is stronger. I'm just going by what I think I see on screen. But I noticed that a lot of people were saying, well, Boots he shouldn't have the A side. He shouldn't have this much say-so. Hearn shouldn't be throwing out this much for Norman and making it seem like Boots is the A side. Listen, I'm listening to a lot of you guys talk. And nobody's right or wrong. But we have to deal with what the facts is. And the facts is that's what Hearn and his team got going on for Boots. And there's nothing no one could do about it. Same thing with Norman. They feel like he's worth 1.7. Norman and them team feel like they $500,000 worth more. So be it. None of us could say what their worth is, what that is, what this is. What we do know, and it's a fact,
These guys aren't stars. They're not stars unless you're a diehard boxing fan. You're not going to know who Boots Ennis is, and you're not going to know who Brian Norman is, and that is just the facts. Period. I got a lot of my homeboys who watch boxing all the time. They don't even know who Brian Norman is. And from my understanding, Brian Norman, who was elevated a champion, is about to fight on a undercard on Keyshawn Davis's undercard. And if I'm not mistaken, Keyshawn Davis isn't even a world champion. Now, the flip side to this whole negotiation, and because I don't care about the negotiation, and I don't care about offers, I don't care about Brian Norman and the team turning down the money, and I don't care about what Eddie Hearn believes that Boots is worth. I don't care about none of that. But what is a fact, what I do care about is Brian Norman, you guys and your team was talking a lot of smack about Boots. And now that the fight was presented to you with an offer way more than what you got in your last fight, you turned it down. So, of course, everyone is saying it's a duck. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's a duck. On a fight that is 50-50. On a fight that you possibly could beat Boots. You possibly could beat Boots, and now you become the man. Back in the days, you guys would have fought. Back in the days, you guys would have been fighting in your prime. And here is another fight, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, here is another fight. Potentially a good fight. A potential fight of the year type fight. Two talented young boxers. Once again, not fighting each other. Why? Because the money isn't right. And like I said, the MOBC, we're not in the place to say what you guys are worth. If you guys feel like you guys deserve $500,000, so be it. But now the fans not getting the fight, and now you not getting the fight. And I don't know what Brian Sr. is talking about. I really don't care what he got talking about. But I know for sure Brian Norman Jr. wants that fight. And I know for sure if the father didn't have so much control, he would have took that deal and he would have took that fight and he would have went to that gym and he would have started training for this fight. A 50-50 fight that we're possibly not ever going to see. Because I know a lot of people want Boots to move up to 154. And there's a lot of fights, good fights up there. But now we have a good fight because everybody was talking about, well, there's nobody there. There's nobody at 147, so he should move up. There is someone there. Brian Norman is right there. A world champion. A world champion. Let me say it again. A world champion. And now we're not getting a fight. Two young fighters in their prime. Same goes with Shakur and Tank Davis. Two fighters in their prime. We got Bivol and Better Beef coming up. Better Beef is 40 years old. He's not in his prime anymore. Now, that fight is still 50-50. But he's 40 years old. Is this what boxing... Terrence Crawford and Spence. Spence was what, 33, 34? Crawford was 35. They weren't in their primes. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, they weren't in their primes. You know who was in their prime? Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez. Benitez versus Hearns. Prime fighters fighting each other. And here we go, once again, people pricing themselves out, it seems like, or or the other fighter giving them a not enough money. Whichever one however which way you go, whether you're on, because I notice if you're on Boots' side, you're gonna say that offer is justified. If you're on Norman's side, you're gonna say that offer wasn't justified. Here at the MOBC, we don't care. What we're not getting is the fight. And then I hear Brian Norman Sr. interacting with some of the fans. And the first thing you go to when they give you your criticism about the situation, you call the boxing fans broke. You say that you have all the money. You show off your cars. You show off your house. Ladies and gentlemen, when you got someone like that calling you broke, and you're the ones who's paying for these fights and paying pay-per-view, don't pay for pay-per-view anymore. Because people like that who's calling you broke, this is why I don't stream, this is why I don't buy music. I try to stream movies for free as much as I can. I don't buy music. Okay? It's a lot of stuff that I don't support, and I don't pay for pay-per-view. I don't buy boxing. Because a lot of these celebrities and a lot of these athletes, that's why I don't pay for basketball. You've seen how LeBron James pushed off the fan that was just trying to get an autograph or whatever. All in his face telling him, back up, will you please back up, to a little kid, and you guys paying money. This is the same thing. This is why the MOBC streams fights for free, or we watch it for free the next day on YouTube. Because if you want to call me broke, well, guess what? I'm $89, $79, $59, whatever the pay-per-view is, richer because I didn't pay for it. So, going back to the situation at hand is why these two aren't fighting each other. Listen, if you feel like you worth more than 1.7, how come you didn't feel like you was worth more than 190,000 in your last fight? And as far as Boots goes, his thing is, and this is what I'm saying, Boots, how come you won't just give him the extra 500,000 so we could get this fight? Because we don't know. Let's say you do give the 500,000. What if they give another counter on offer? You see what I'm saying? Make it go up higher. We don't know what was going to happen in these negotiations. We don't know. But I know that these two want to fight each other. And they're not fighting because, one, the promoter don't want to pay the extra 500,000. The Norman's team don't want to take the 1.7. So I don't know who's at fault. Again, I don't know who's at fault. I don't know what a person is worth. I don't know. But what I do know is we not getting a fight against two talented young fighters. Just like we're not getting Tank versus Lomachenko. Just like we're not getting Shakur versus Tank. Is this how boxing going to be? This is going to keep continuing? So what? Is Virgil Ortiz going to fight Tim Tszyu when they're almost 38, 39? Are we never going to get prime fighters to fight each other? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with boxing? Again, I say it time and time again in the sport of boxing. Boxers, Boots, Norman, all you guys. Boxing is in competition with other fighting organizations. With MMA, with bare knuckle, and all these other silly games of fighting games that they got out there. You guys got to fight to keep the sport alive. You take that 1.7 million and you beat Boots, who appears to be the man apparently, then you become the man. If Boots beat Norman, you become even more of the man, since you are the man now. But I don't know what's going to happen with the sport of boxing. It's going down the drain because fighters don't want to fight each other. These are two guys in their prime, and diehard boxing fans want to see it. Norman is coming off of a fantastic win. Boots coming off of a cool win. And now who is Boots going to fight next? Who is Norman going to fight next? Are you guys, talking to both of you guys, is your next opponent on the same caliber as you guys? Come on, man.